This game was played by none other than Rudolf Spielmann. This game was played back in the year 1914, but we still look at it today. So game begins e4, and then after this, knight to c3, knight f3. What's one of the moves here that you can play? f4 Vienna Gambit. You got it. Yep. So that's going to be the move that he does deploy right here. Follow-up question here. What is black supposed to do? If you were thinking d5, you would be correct. So this opening right here, I notice is particularly effective against players who are about 1500 or below, because it's one you kind of have to have the reply memorized. At any rate, d5 is the best move. Similar to the King's Gambit, but not quite the same thing. What on earth do you play in this wacky, crazy position? e5 capture is indeed the move. You do this one right here, and what's pretty handy-dandy about this move is that you're not only capturing a pawn, also you're solving the problem of then capturing your pawn, but you're also attacking their knight, so it does three things all at once. Hip hip hooray. So after this move here, now they're going to take this way, and we're going to go knight to f3. Point being, we don't want to allow for queen to h4 check, which is of course going to be bad news bears. For example, this silly move here, pawn to a3, would result in here check, and then should we go like this? Yikes, we'd be looking at stuff like this check. And then maybe here, and then is that mate? I believe it is, right? Yes, that would be mate. Yikes. Okay, well, that's the downside of that pawn to f4 push that we mentioned earlier. Well, surely we're not going to do that. We're going to do here knight to f3, after which they go right here. Today's theorists recommend instead bishop to e7 as black's best move. After right here, we go queen to e2, and we are now threatening to win this pawn. After this move, now they're going to go with knight to c5. After this, we're going to go pawn to d4, at which point, I was thinking, all right, this is going great. Everything's going my way. I'm attacking the knight, patrolling the center, I'm up in development. Hey, this is going wonderful. What could possibly go wrong? He thought the knight would just come back like this. He continues development, and he's off to a great start. The bishop takes right here, and he goes, okay, whatever. I'll just take that back. I'm attacking this pawn and your knight. What are you going to do now? Here, check, and he goes, okay, fine. I'll just block that. And then disaster struck. Black took this pawn right here. Well, after you mess up, of course you shouldn't play your next move really fast. He didn't do that. He goes castles, and he's going, all right. You got my pawns, but I got initiative, which is when you are developing your pieces with tempo because you're creating some sort of attack on the opponent, which is the case right here. After this move here, now his opponent goes like this, and then he goes like this. He goes knight takes d5, giving up a knight for 2 pawns. Well, he gets more than just 2 pawns. He also gets some further initiative as well as an attack on both of these guys. After the queen retreats, what move do you think we should play now? There are essentially 3 moves worth considering. One is okay, the other one's really good, and the last one would be terrible. Those moves are here, here, or here. There is a clear winner amongst the bunch. Which one is it? The answer is not this move. Let's start with this one actually. So if you go here, the problem is that they can actually launch a little counter combination and we are going to be doomed. Check this out. They can go here takes, okay, and then here takes, here check. Whoops, is that checkmate? No, not quite. We could go like this, but then disaster strikes upon this check, delivering a fork here, kapow. Whoops, that went backwards very quickly. That would be terrible. So we don't want to take the seemingly free bishop right here. And this check, it doesn't really do as much as you might think. The knight just blocks and then they're kind of regaining their stance a little bit. And we're not going to be in a position to attack them as much as we were before. So if you said bishop to c4, you would indeed be correct. After this move, the queen went right here, attacking both of these pieces. Let's do here. At which point, queen took his queen. It was a really good move here. If you said rook to e1, you would indeed be correct. You do this check, and even though we are down by a queen, we're going to get checkmate. They go here. We now take. They scooch on over this way, and we have a ladder checkmate. Game over.